We are entering a abode of things that are 200 million years old. And I mean treasures. Like, seriously, come with me and you'll see what I mean. Yes, I'm melting. Rose quartz crystal. It is the heart chakra stone. Beautiful for the love section. Great for marriages. So, if you're into love, then one of these. This is orange calcite. Great for the center of the home. It's not light, so I'm going to put it down with the others. Imagine around maybe a fireplace, 100 million years old. 100 million years old. This piece, I think, is a classic meditation rock. I mean, really, how beautiful. Now we're entering the house of treasures. Amethysts, beautiful amethysts. Gorgeous for the sleeping area, calming. More amethysts on this side. We think that this double amethyst would be another great idea for a love section in your home. You can see how deep it is. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Very unusual to have a double-sided amethyst. Well, clearly you can see by the size of these that this amethyst stone would be great as an entrance piece, also maybe by a fireplace, but particularly good around the bed area because it's a calming stone. It is a stone that awakens the third eye. The thing with amethyst and colored stones in general is that you want to make sure, in order to preserve their color, not to expose them to too much sunlight. Another thing that I want to tell you is that these guys are like the rock stars of the crystal world. Seriously, the clarity of their stones is really what puts them and makes them the cutting edge crystal guys. This piece is probably one of my favorites. I call it the cloud. It's very thin. It's called selenite, and it is used to expand one's life existence, to enhance clarity. It also works with people's past lives. So a very powerful, beautiful, delicate piece that's transparent, so the light will go through. Can't really see that with the black backdrop, but gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Okay, this piece that I'm holding here is called black tourmaline, which Marie and I both believe every human being needs. It is a fantastic front door entrance piece. It is used to ward off negative energy, and it absorbs negative energy, so it doesn't stay. Whatever negative energy may be in the house, this particular stone is what's going to keep you serene, calm, and happy. What I love about this piece is you're going to notice that there's little flecks of gold, which is actually mica. It's also very useful against the EMF fields, electromagnetic fields. So, you know, like your microwave or computers. Pyrite, fantastic on a desk. They're often used for good luck and also a money activator, sometimes known as fool's gold, but I prefer pyrite. Let me talk about this stone, because this is a stone called Fujita, which is from Brazil. and very, very useful in clearing illness. So it's something that I think also lends itself to like a Zen garden. Clear quartz is an activator. The only thing with it being in the bedroom is that it's probably going to keep you very busy and awake. So here we have a masterpiece. If you notice all the points on this particular crystal, it's just immaculate. We don't find crystals like this today. This is a rarity. So the beauty again of this particular piece is that it is actually, you can see where my fingers are pointing, a double terminated crystal, which means that there's points on both sides, which is extremely unusual. Clear quartz is an amplifier. Fantastic. Imagine around a pool area. It is absolutely weather tolerant, so it's not going to get harmed being outside. So here we have another clear quartz crystal, again with the beautiful points on this particular piece. These come from Arkansas, a mine called the Coleman Mines. What makes it very unusual is you'll notice this peach color running through the crystal. Amazing about this is that none of these points have been damaged. So every single point has stood the test of time. Amazing. Isn't it? Isn't that amazing? We are actually going to be entering what we like to call the James Bond room. Oh my God. Seriously. So, hands down, this is, I think, our favorite piece. But I have Bob here who's actually going to tell me a little bit about this.
It's called an celestial crystal. And you can see it's got just interesting smoky zoning, and these are little double terminated crystals that have grown together into one. And you see iron oxide inclusions in here. Mm-hmm. It's just it's got a just very special energy.
Right, and you can't find these anymore.
No, you really can't.
Wow, amazing. And what's so cool about it is, I mean, it looks like it's been cut, but this is actually in its natural state. So we like to call this piece the Lord of the Rings crystal. It's got something so magical about it that it like grabs you. I could imagine this to be fantastic in a garden. I also, as an entrance hall piece, for some reason I could see something like an archway, but a great statement piece. These spheres are highly recommended to be on the right-hand side of an office desk. They are clear quartz crystal, which activates energy. You may see in particular this one has quite a few rainbows in it. Also great in the center of a home. I think this is a sexy piece. Again, the double terminated points, the LED lights showing it all its peaks off in all its glory. I love this. I mean, really. This room is the home of an incredible artist. His name is Jim Wicked, who is a master craftsman at actually cutting the crystals.
And this is quartz that was mined in the 40s and 50s to be used in the electronics industry, that the government purchased from mines from all over the world with the best optical quality to be used in radios, crystal technology for tuning and things like that. That they're stockpiled of really good quartz.
Very, very
and
clear,
the mines,
right?
Very clear. The mines nowadays don't quite produce this quality. So in the past 30 years, this is a collection of the best pieces. I've gone through 1 million pounds of quartz in that time, and these are pieces that I hand selected and put aside.
The treasures.
Yeah.
So this is a piece that Jim likes to call Atlantis.
Well, this was just a big chunk of quartz that I started out with here, but this is a cutoff from the front of this crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So this piece was actually right on here,
Right.
and so to get to the inside with a diamond saw, I cut this off, intending to polish this only, and so I polished this one to expose the inside, and then I happened to look at this one while it still had the cutting oil on it, and I noticed some movement inside this, so I polished it. And what you'll find on the inside of this is right in this little area there's a little water bubble.
Yes, I see. I can see it. It's right there.
Okay, I'm up.
It's the water bubble inside the pyramid, right?
Yeah, and so it moves to 3 corners, so there's a perfect little triangle that this little water bubble moves in. If you look on the surface, you'll see like little triangular patterns, and those are known as to be recorders from Atlantis. They call them record keepers, and being that this is a recorder, I went back and looked here, and there's the city of Atlantis. So somehow it just seems to fit that this is a recorder on the inside of a crystal with water bubble. I do it sort of what I call the old school way. And on this one here, you can see this is the natural bottom of a crystal. When I recut crystal points like this, I don't change the angle when I recut it. I just go along to exactly the natural angle of the crystal, just enough to make nice smooth edges, and repolish it, because it's very important not to change any angle of the crystal. This is exactly the angles that this crystal was found. Mm-hmm. And so there's no point in cutting a flat bottom, because that's not natural in a crystal. So that is why I do it in bronze, so it fits right in. And that's why I start with wax and fit it in wax, and then start sculpting this and get it this way. I like to leave as much natural as possible on the crystal. Mm-hmm. That's what gives it character.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been working around quartz for almost 30 years, and I started out by doing steel bases and things, and it just didn't seem right. It was hard to get them to stand up, and so I just experimented and got some wax and stuck the crystal in the wax and started sculpting, and one thing led to another.
So Jim, tell me a little bit about the process of how you actually create your art pieces.
Well, actually I start out with a big chunk of wax, mm-hmm. and then I take the crystal and just set it into the wax to form the bottom of the crystal, mm-hmm. and then sculpt the wax to whatever shape that feels best for that crystal. And then after it's shaped in wax, it's taken to a foundry where they actually dip it like in a plaster and sand type material, which builds up a shell around the whole wax piece. Mm-hmm. Then it's put into a kiln where it's heated to harden it, and then it also melts the wax, in which the wax is then poured out and replaced with molten bronze. Mm-hmm. And after it's cooled, it's cracked open and sandblasted, and then I pick it up and I do some final grinding for fitting, because there's some shrinkage involved. So I have to do some grinding for it to fit in completely perfectly. Mm-hmm. And then I go through a process of a little bit more sanding, and then I apply a patina, which involves with a torch, by getting it very hot and applying different chemicals to create different colors, which nature will do over thousands of years naturally. And after that's finished, then I put in some LED lighting inside those, which will light up the crystal.
They're absolutely beautiful.